Hey, what's up everybody? This is Torgal and welcome back to Modsauce 2. Last episode we ended up with a jetpack and then I said I'm gonna go ahead and fly and glide around a lot to try to find a biome that I want to build the first main base in, and I found one and we'll get to that in a second. But I wanted to get you caught up in a few of the changes. I found a rapier in one of these artifact towers in a chest, and it was a copper. And I actually then upgraded it to a manilium blade, and it does 7 damage, and I kept leveling it a little bit. I also put a necrotic bone on this. And the reason was because, I mean, we already have this cool sword here, right? Which has a little more damage. Also has lifesteal, I put that on there. But the problem is that since we got Mechanism with the latest update, we now have Mechanism and a few other mods. There's a lot of monsters that have armor on. And a rapier simply ignores all armor, so stuff dies faster. And I decided to level one of them up. I'm not going to say the other one is never going to be used again because it has beheading. But I made this guy. And I also upgraded the jetpack to the next one up. We had the... I don't remember. Let's see here real quick. We had this one right here. The hardened with the... What was it? I think bronze plating, right? Yeah. And I upgraded that to this jetpack here, which holds 4 million RF. And then also upgraded the armor plating here. That was simply 10 Invar with the bronze spec in the induction smelter. And because I wanted to test if... Check it out. Now when I hover, I still sink down, but much, much slower. So that makes it a lot easier to build. And you guys see in a little bit when I show you the new base why that was important. Because, well, I needed to hover a lot. And it was just easier this way. So, and then the other thing is, I set this up here one night. It took me about an hour and a half to set this up. Mike was helping me a little bit with that because I wanted to see a lot of the different chiseled blocks. The first row over here is glass, all the different chisel looks you can do. Then this one here is called Grimstone. It's pretty cool. You guys see these black particle effects? But for the main base, this is gonna be too depressing. So but I think I'm gonna make use for it of that for like the Thaumcraft area. Now the next one here is I'm not too happy about it. Purple Fantasy block. It's not a bad looking block, but I don't know if I like it. Maybe for the Botania area, this wouldn't be bad. This one here is pretty cool. This is called a Rebellious block. And then down here, it's the same block, the base block, this one over here. The Rebellious block, when you keep going in a chisel, it turns into the Imperialistic block. And there's some features I could use for this. I think there's some nice looking blocks. And I also wanted to see the different chiseled bricks. I always wanted to build something in brick, but it's just, I don't know, to me almost too overwhelming. Imagine you have a whole wall like this. But I still have not given up on the brick, because when we get into immersive engineering, which I want to get to here, not today, but possibly next or the episode after. I really want to get into that. There's a lot of cool multi-block structures we can make. I might build something because let me just double check here real quick what they're actually saying about the mod itself. I made where is it? This book right here. Just to, you know, get familiar with the mod itself. And the recipe for that is just a lever in the book. So you didn't miss anything there. And now let's see here. Overview, introduction. There's something in here that describes it pretty good. Here, immersive engineering is built around the concept of retrofuturistic generation and transfer of energy. That right here, the retrofuturistic, you know, making old style looking machines. They're amazing looking, these. I can't wait to build them. So I figured, you know, maybe in some form of a brick factory or something, we could put all this stuff for our ore processing. I want to process a lot of the ore with that, and also power generation for the area. So keep that in mind. Nether brick, I love it. It's one of my favorite building blocks, together with like a bright white one or whatever. Or we might mix it into this one here. We'll see. The other ones, no, they're not my cup of noodle. This one over here might not be bad. Kind of reminds me a little bit, just slightly, of a coke oven. So this one could go into with the brick. This one here. The other ones, not so much. Okay, then here we got marble. I love marble, especially with this texture pack. And check it out, how clean and sleek these lines are. It's really nice. Then here we got limestone, which I'm going to make a lot of use of, the limestone. And that's going to be for our paths and so on. You guys see why it's going to fit very nicely in the biome. It's not going to be in the buildings, but the paths and so on. Then, of course, this is everything you can make out of stone. I love it, especially these newer ones over here. I haven't seen these much. They're really cool looking, multi-texture structures. And lastly, sandstone, because, well, I think I got a little tired of it because of regrowth. So anyway, I just wanted to show you this real quick, and now we're gonna go downstairs because there's something I want to demonstrate first. And Mike was helping me digging out this area back here. It's gonna be dark, guys, sorry, but it needs to be, otherwise the test doesn't work properly. Here, let's go run towards the light. Let me put this book away real quick. We don't need that right now. But you guys are gonna see here, I have tons of stuff prepared for later. But check out these floodlights here. I was playing around with them. I remember them from, I cannot remember which mod it was. If it was from Greg Tech or another edition from IC2 Industrial Craft or something like that. But there's these two different floodlights, the electric and the non-electric. The difference between those two, the recipes are not too expensive. This one is much easier to make. This right here is a filament you need to smelt, which is just glowstone and redstone. Really not expensive. This one here is a little, whoops, this one here is a little more complicated than non-electric. Takes this mantle, which is, you know, not hard. It's just a lot more processes in crafting, and you need a flint and steel. They're both not expensive. But anyway, so let me show you the electric one runs on RF. I did not bring a battery or something, but they're identical to the output. So I can demonstrate everything here with this non-electrical one. And I marked the spot right there. Bam. Okay. You open it, you get the GUI here. We can put coal in it. And you see one charcoal lasts 5 minutes. But you still need to give it a redstone signal. Now check it out. Default. Check how far away the last light is. Turn it on. Bam. This is amazing, okay? That's what they used to do anyway. But now there's multiple settings. Right now the setting is called straight. And let's turn on F7. This is 15 wide from here to these red X's. It's 15 wide and 70 long. Okay? Until 70. That is, the whole area is lit up with one light. No mobs can spawn in this, nothing. The second setting is my favorite one, narrow cone. Now, we did not dig out far to the right because you can simply mirror it. But let's check right here real quick. I don't remember counting actually. But somewhere here is the middle. So we're counting this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh, 23. So that's 46 with the one in the middle, 47. Right here, it's 47 wide. This one light lights up. That is really cool to light up, you know, large areas. Now imagine the next one, you can put somewhere over there, and that's gonna, you know, overlap these X's, these spawnable areas and so on. That is amazing. And the last one I would never use, the white cone, okay? Because check it out, on the widest part, it's only one wider, one or two wider, but it gets a lot shorter. The other one was somewhere to here. So I don't see an advantage to using the white cone, okay? Yeah, so these floodlights we're going to make a lot of use of, but I wanted to demonstrate them down here real quick so you can really get an idea how far it is. Imagine using this, the straight one. You can fill up entire areas. You know, the next one here, you can place 15 away. So somewhere, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. That is then, yeah, right there. Bam, back here. And they're gonna border up right here. So this one then would light up to here. And then the next one, I mean, look at this. This is amazing. I love it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go head back home. And then we'll continue with what we have in stock for today. Now, let me give you guys an idea on how much I've explored. And if this map would not always mess up, I don't understand. Because, you know, you see right here, this is like covered again. I had all this uncovered here, and I think further down here, but for some reason this journey map sometimes just, I don't know, it's weird. So I flew far and glided. I don't know if it's glided or glid. I'm gonna say glided. You know, there was also a path through here uncovered, but I went all the way down here and further and so on. Down here, this is I don't remember the name of that biome, but it's a very dark and spooky biome. It looks amazing. I think that right here in the middle, I want to put the Thaumcraft area. I think that would be awesome. It would fit it. There's like a magical, they have magical trees and stuff here. And I kept going and going. You guys see, I went really far. Lots of snowy areas. I got all these meteors, so we got everything for applied energistics, all the presses. And this right here is pretty cool. There's like it's like a fungal forest. There's different looking mushrooms I've never seen. Let me show you guys. I put it in here. So I see Dutch cap mushroom. There's all 5 that I found. The Kaiser, the Grand Moss, the Dutch, the Sarcastic, and a dark cap mushroom. And these are like what they're built off. And because I silk touched them, I got them all. I don't know. Maybe I'll show you guys once, but it's just a cool looking place. Anyway, and there's also an Alps biome. Oh man, it's like in Modsauce 1, you know, where we built our Dwarven Kingdom there. But I said, you know, we already did that. I kept looking. Then back home. And then I found this crazy place right here. Check it out. Check out the size of this jungle. Have you guys ever seen something this big? I mean, I believe I calculated it was 2,700 blocks from south to north or something like that. And this across here, let's check real quick. This is at about 100 to, so about 1,100, 1,200 wide. That is huge. I've never seen a biome this large, even with large biomes. And you guys see right here, this is where the base is. We're gonna live in a jungle, okay? Main reason is because of the Jurassic craft. I think we can set up something really cool here for all the dinosaurs and stuff we can make and breed, or however that works. I don't know yet. And then maybe even make, you know, a path through with a rail cart and it stops at the enclosures and stuff like that. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with that. But because we're in a jungle, and if you guys play Minecraft for a while and ever were in a jungle, you know, it sucks to light it up. Okay? Because of all the trees and bushes and ups and downs and cliffs and so on. So, first thing we're going to do is make ourselves Magnum torches today. And I want to make 4. So I can place them about 64 blocks away in all 4 directions, north, east, south, and west, and have a huge area where no mobs can spawn in. I don't need to worry about creepers sneaking up on me and so on, and I can keep a nice lighting. And to make this, we need to make a QED first. So I said we're going to make this first and set it up over here. Just for the time being, it's going to move into the new base, but right now I just want to make this. The first thing you're going to need to make is a QED. You know, just diamonds and these burnt quartz you make with a block of quartz and smelt it. This diamond edged thing here needs another ender infused, and these right here are cheap to make, just obsidian and an ender pearl. So it's not really hard to make. Bam, this one. And these get powered by the ender flux crystals. That's their power. That's it. That's the only thing these things are used for. And we're going to make 8 of these. The more of these you place around the QED, the faster it's going to go. And because they're quite cheap to make, I said we're just going to use that for now. And now where am I going to put this? You know what? I'm going to move it later anyway. Let's just put it here for the time being. It don't matter. So you slap that in the middle or wherever you want and just put these 8 crystals around it. I will definitely remove this soon, guys. Don't worry. Where am I going to put these blocks so I don't forget? Let me just put them in here, just to get them out of the way. Okay, so we got this done. And then between episodes, I brewed up all these. We're going to need 4 of these, and 4 of these, and all this gobbledygook. Okay, let's make the first stuff first. We got to make, because we make 4, we need 20 chandeliers. And they're made like this. Bam, there's 20. And then you guys see you need 2 logs and then a potion of regeneration 2 and a potion of healing 2. on the top right and top left. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make one, and then I'll make the other 3 off camera real quick. I think I can put all this in here like that, and there we go. Instantly starts, there's nothing you need to do, and it's very fast with 8 of them around. One thing to note is there is no way to automate the QED that I have found out. And according to the mod maker, he said, I forgot the name of that person, sorry about that, that never wants to have this automated. It's supposed to be always manual, and it's okay. You don't make a lot of stuff in this anyway. So let me get ahead and make these, and then let me just double check if I had something else. Jetpack. Well, we got everything. Okay, and then we'll head over to the new base, and I'll give you a tour of what I've set up so far. Alright, I just finished placing those 4 Magnum torches around the base here in the jungle. And I hope you guys are ready. You see on the minimap, I'm looking straight at it. I'm in the middle of this jungle, and here it is. It's a tower. Now, my idea behind this is I wanted this to have like a modern research lab kind of feel. You know, like we are trying to repopulate dinosaurs. So this tower right here is going to be our main control thing, and I want it to be above the tree lines. I was thinking about, you know, building jungle temples and so on, but I'm like, you know what, let's go modern. I started in the beginning of Modsauce 1, before we had that server restart, to build something very modern, and it was really cool. So you guys see there's a lot of laboratory block, and then that chiseled stone right down here, the tower I actually built out of that just to save on materials. It's still very bright, and you guys see I got 4 of these floodlights down here shining up on the tower. So I'm gonna wait until it's night later and show you guys at night too, because I think it looks really cool. You know, got some exhausts going on, some of the fans are, you know, spinning off and on just to give it a little more detail. It's still very monotone. It's just one color. I kind of want to put in some more color, but I'm not sure yet how. Maybe we come up with a logo or something like that. We'll see. And then up here we have 3 levels. This right here behind the glass is gonna be our main area. Okay, I'll show you guys in a minute the inside. And then down here is gonna be our machine room, I'm gonna call it. This is where we're gonna put most of the stuff today that we're gonna put in there. And now let me show you guys from the bottom. I barely did any landscaping here, just over here, because there's this hill starting, so I had to do some landscaping here. But I do want to keep it, you know, as natural as possible, because that means later on I don't need to regrow much. And check it out, there's the tubes again. And I was looking for blocks forever that have arrows. Like I wanted an arrow pointing in and an arrow pointing out somehow, right? But I cannot find any blocks. Not from Chisel, Z-Tones, anything. And then both Renovate and Mike were saying, why don't you use, you know, item frames with arrows in them? Mike said with regular arrows, and then actually Renovate came over and showed me this pointer. That's what it's called, it's a pointer. I'm not sure. I think they're used for the item cannon or something from Open Block. And they're very just, you know, for wool to make them. Bam. And I put those in there. So now this is the only way you can turn them, by the way. There's these 4 positions. So this is up and this is down, and it's good enough. Little goofy. It's fine by me. So those are the tube going all the way up. But first, let me go down here in the sub-basement or whatever. And here you see how I powered these floodlights. Now, I'm not a fan of using the cheap, you know, lava power. It's been done so many times, but I think it's okay for the lights. You know what I mean? Because these lights used to only require a redstone signal, so a lever. But since they've been remade or something, I think that the mod was redone completely. I'm not sure. You know, now they need either coal or RF, which is kind of bumming me out, because lighting in Minecraft, you know, shouldn't be expensive. So I just used this one magmatic and it keep up with all 4 of these. And I did the same for the lights up. So where's the elevator? There it is. So let's go ahead and go up. And yeah, it's just right up here. And I made this tower on purpose wider. So if I ever want to run ME cable or power or something into other buildings, I can go down here. I don't want to have something on the outside of the tower. Okay, so this is the main machine room. And you guys see, I placed these kind of strategically the way they are. I think I could have gone with only two, one here and one there. And possibly even just with one right here, because we counted earlier, it's a huge area. But I just wanted to make sure that we have enough light, you know, in case we build something big right here and the light would be blocked or something. So, it doesn't matter. They're not that expensive, and that was kind of fun. And right here, let me just show you with the wrench. You know, I used the conduit facades, and I painted them in this, what is it called? Technical block. Let me look it up. I forgot the name of it. That was probably, there it is. This right here. Panels with caution tape. And I thought it's perfect, you know, to run wires or electricity and stuff. This is a perfect block. And yeah, it's just the power going up and down. And then over here I have our enhanced portal. So this is where it is right now. I am thinking of adding more portals here, but we'll see later on how much room we have left. But there's no rush. The redstone signal to automatically turn it off or on, I put on the top. You know, it's out of the way, so it's not sticking out here. And now let's go up. And this is going to be our, probably the room where we'll spend a lot of our time, because this is where I'm going to have, you know, the ME terminals and a lot of the machinery and so on. And I think it turned out so cool. You guys like these vents here? That's all this part of the laboratory block. I think it gives it a very clean, modern design. I'm happy about it. Let me know how you guys like it. And over here, I just used this bubble glass from Chisel. I did not want it to be just completely see-through. I don't know. I want to see something, you know. I think in real life you would have seams, you know, because this wouldn't just be one glass, or you would have some stickers on it that birds don't fly in, and so on. So, but look at this view, guys. Is this amazing or what? A jungle as far as you can look. Again, check it out. I mean, look how far this is. What is this? 2, 4, that's 10, 20... 30 chunks or something to the next biome this way, probably close to 40 chunks this way, 40 chunks that way, and then this way. And it's all jungle. It's amazing. I've never seen anything like that. I was so happy when I found it. I'm like, yeah, that's a sign. We got Jurassic Craft in this. So this is it. Now, what are we going to do today? We're going to set up the first power. And that's what we're going to do down here. Ooh, sun is setting, so I can show you guys in a minute outside. But I prepared everything for a reactor. I did some more farming. I did so much mining, guys. Also in the nether, you guys see. And, ooh, before I forget, I wanted to show you this real quick. We can just go back home real quick. And go in here. Here's some other stuff I brought from the nether, but we'll get into this another day. Because when we got mechanism, I made the metallurgic infuser and the enrichment chamber. Purely for the reason, because I had so much nether quartz and I needed a lot for the laboratory blocks. And when you use that in... smelting just gives you 1, a waste. Enrichment chamber gives you 6. Pulverizer only gives you 2. Sag mill gives you 4. And that is why I wanted to make this guy to get the most possible nether quartz. So now let's go back. Whoops, wrong one. Hello, wake up. We want to go here. And let me go upstairs and fly out real quick before I forget, so you guys can see the tower at night. Because I think it looks really cool with these lights. I love it. Let's fly right here. Check out how bright this thing is. No torches. Nothing. This is... I love it. I think this makes it so much cooler, Minecraft. When you have these kind of lighting options, it's just awesome. And also, of course, the C-tone flat lamps here, because you get 16 of these for 1 glowstone dust. I mean, it's amazing. Ooh, I'm glad I showed you guys before they were sleeping. All right, so now let's get busy. Let me go ahead and get rid of... I don't need a shovel either. And let me take all this out. I did build it in single player. Just to make sure, you know, that it gives us enough power, because I was worried, because this is only 4 high, right? And I did not want it to stick out on the bottom or on the top or build it far away. I wanted to have the power right here. So let's see. I think we're going to build it right there. And I came up with one that only makes us 5,000 RF. But these 5000 RF are only for the sieving operation and so on that we're gonna set up. So I think it's gonna be plenty. So now let me just think here for a second. That's the corner. Water. So these are gonna be the rods, and then this is gonna be the wall. Okay, so this is how big it's gonna be. And I wanted to have one empty behind it so we have an easy time of walking behind it if we ever need to for some reason. You run a cable or whatever. And I can fill all this in. And I think I'm not even gonna cut. We're just gonna build this together real quick. It's really not hard. And there's the last one. How far? One more. Even though I probably have shown how to build a reactor quite a few times, but maybe somebody's new to the channel or new to modded Minecraft and they don't know how to build a reactor. And again, this stuff is, I mean, cheaper. It doesn't get any cheaper. Hey, I just noticed. Oh, guys, I think I just had an idea. Because I made glass exactly enough to cover the top and the 4 sides. But let me see here. If I make this one higher, we get more power. And that would mean that I can never run a cable underneath this anyway. So I guess we could make it one higher. And then you can actually see the reactor from up here. That just means I need to make a few more blocks, which is no problem. And of course it would up our power output. Probably by 1/3, because let me just show you guys what I'm talking about. I love the sound this laboratory block makes. So these guys right here are the fuel rods. There's gonna be like this. Either way, if you've never built one of this, there's endless possibilities of arranging this. But the best way is to have these fuel rods is that every one of them can get cooled from all 4 sides. So if I have a block, a cooling block right there, it will cool here, here, and also the one I'm standing on. So there's, you know, all kinds of discussions on the forums, which way is the best. I'm not putting too much theory crafting into this. I'm just, you know, trying to go by the most known things, like, hey, make sure you can fuel them from all. And a lot of times people say taller is better than wider, so instead of adding more to the side, make these rods taller, and so on. That's what I'm kind of going by. So now if I make this one higher like this, bam, oh, come on, bam and bam. Let's do that. Alright guys, and that's now taking up too much time that I'm rethinking and I'm making more blocks. So let me go ahead and finish building it, and then I'll show you guys how we're gonna fill it, in case you have never done that before. And I'm going to use what is it called? Resonant ender. It's not the best thing, but it's one of the highest cooling possibilities that you have in the game. Alright guys, I'll be right back. Alright, I just got back from making the rest. Hello, thank you for waking up. Here we are. I only needed to make 2 more of these reactor casings. I have 2 left over because you make them in pairs of, or not pairs, but in groups of 4. And of course we need 5 more of these now. And on top of these, you put the reactor control rods. Now, when you right-click these, there's all kinds of settings here. I don't want to go in too much, but when you insert the control rod, the more you insert it, so you see right here, you control this, the less of this yellorium, whatever this is called here, fluid yellorium, is going to be used. So that means that your rod stays cooler, it doesn't use as much fuel, but of course it doesn't make as much power either. So, 1 second. Well, I gotta put this back. I don't want to forget about that. But I don't touch these much, ever. I just leave this at full power, go. Go make me power. And now before we can close it off, we need to place this stuff right here. Okay, now you gotta be careful when you use this, because when you step into it or you drop something into this resonant ender, it teleports it around the place. And the way you need to do that is you don't need to have everything source blocks. You see how this fills and then flows down, so this one is cooled from the side. So you can save it if all we need is 8 buckets. That's all we need for this project. And I'm just trying not to fall in. And here we have to hold shift so I don't actually open this redstone panel. And we'll go into the other blocks down here in a second because we still need to configure that. And one more here. And that is it. And the way you make this is always every bucket takes 4 ender pearls in the fluid magma crucible. And then I filled this tank in the magma fluid transposer. Again, you make it, you smelt the ender pearls in the magma crucible, and then you fill it in the fluid transposer. Okay, so now this is filled. Now we can close it off. And then at the very last block, you guys are going to see this becomes a multi-block. And then you know if you actually have it configured right. But it's not hard. Watch it right there. Bam. You guys see? Now it looks different and so on. So that's the last thing we needed to do up here. And this is what it looks like. Now let me go through the other blocks here real quick so you have an idea what this is. Right now I only have one power tap right here. Because, well, for now, I don't see us needing more. It's not bad to have multiples of this, but if you're quick, you can usually, break the glass, put it in again. You don't lose anything on the inside. You don't lose the charge. You don't use the yellorium you already have in the rods. Nothing. And there's nothing else behind or on the left side. Here we have 2 reactor access ports, okay? This one right here, I'm going to leave to an input. And this one I'm going to set to be the output. So when your reactor uses yellorium and uses it, then you get a byproduct. Oops, I already had it opened. Where is it? This stuff right here, cyanide. And the cyanide you can then reprocess into... What does this reprocess into again? Let's see. Come on. Into plutonium. So 2 of those make you another plutonium, which you could then use again to power a reactor. Or you can use these for later on to make a lot of the parts for turbines and so on, which we might get into. We had a lot of fun in Modsauce 1 with that. Up here we have 3 redstone reactor ports. We configure in a second. And then this is your reactor control. Turn it on, turn it off. But when you leave it on and this is full, it will keep charging and using your fuel. So you want to set it up somewhat to automate, when is it turning on or off. And that's why I don't want to turn it on right now, because that's what we're going to set up first. Now, there's all kinds of ways you can do it with RedNet ports, with, what's this one here? The computer port. This is the RedNet port where we could use a RedNet controller and so on. And they're all amazing. There's some, if you go through some of my older videos, I used every one of them. Also Ender IO with turning it off or on with the power monitor. But most of the times, I always ran into a problem at some point during running one of these reactors. Until I played ME4, and we didn't have any of these goodies. We didn't have RedNet. We didn't have Ender IO. So I needed to figure out another way. And that is very simple. Now check it out. This is a redstone port itself, and you have these things here. I can tell it via the signals to turn the reactor on or off. I can change these control units. I check the waste, fuel temperature, energy amount, waste amount, fuel amount, and so on, right? The only 2 we need is reactor on or off and energy amount. And that's what we're going to do now. So I want this guy to turn on when the internal power here has less than 10%. And I want him to stop when he is above 80%. Now, first thing you might ask is why not stop when it's 100%? Because when you turn it off, it keeps going. It's not just on or off. It takes a build up and then it takes a cool down. So if I stop at 100%, I'm going to waste some fuel. If I stop at 80%, it might keep going until 90, 95 and then actually shut off. So we try not to waste any fuel. So this first one we're going to set here, energy amount. Active while below 10%. Okay, so when that thing goes under 10%, this port right here is going to emit a signal. Whoomp, the signal is on. Okay, see right now, it's already telling me, yes, there is a signal. That's why this is working, right? And this one right here, we're going to set to energy active while above 80%. Okay, I hope that makes sense. That's why this is not on. This port is going to come on when we have more than 80%. And now the magic happens here. Toggle the reactor on or off. Set from signal. Now, if I set this to leave it right here, it will always be on besides when you're between 10 and 90 or 80%. But I want it to be a pulse. So right now, it would have gotten a pulse once, right? All right, it turns on. And then this one will turn off. I guess... Let me demonstrate it. It might not be bad. Here, check it out. If I turn it on now. Well, that doesn't work because I still need to give it some fuel. Sorry about that. And the way you do that is you simply shift-click this in here. And it used 60 Elorium. So now this is full. And I'm just going to leave a whole stack in here just to make sure, you know, we don't run out anytime soon. And now we can turn it on. All right. Now you see this is heating up and it's going up and up and up. Oh, wow. Look at how much power we're making. Bam. But check it out. As soon as we get over 10%, this is going to turn. You see? It turned off. So now what I'm going to do is turn it off again manually real quick so we can actually test if it works. And we'll see in a minute how much. I didn't pay attention now how much the fuel consumption was. So now, you know, it had one signal to turn on. That's what this does here. Set toggle on pulse. It would have turned on. And when this turns off, it's not sending another pulse, so it will keep going until it gets the next pulse when it's over 80% from this one, and then it will turn off again. And then when it's below 80% and this signal turns off, it doesn't care. It's not a pulse. So that is how that works. I hope I explained that okay. And why did I only bring 3 RedNet cables if I need 5? Ah, dang it. Let's pick up a few more. Sorry about that, guys. I don't know why I was thinking. Let's just bring them all. I only made one set, which is 8. It's only plastic sheets and redstone in the middle. So it's very cheap. Okay. Where is it? Over here. Okay. So bam, bam. It doesn't have a signal right now because both of them are off. It's not below 10 and it's not above 80, so nothing can happen. But let me disconnect all this gobbledygook here. We don't care. I don't like it. I want this all to be disconnected here and there. Like that. All right. Whoop, one too many. Okay, so now all these 3 are connected. So now I'm going to turn it on. And you guys are going to see when this gets to 80%, it's going to shut off because it will get a redstone signal from over there. Well, look at this. We're only using 1 millibucket per tick, 0.1 millibucket per tick. So very little fuel, right? One of these ingots is 1,000 millibuckets. So what is this? If it's 0.1 of 1,000, that would be 1/1,000,000th per tick. All right, and we're getting 7,350, I'm going to say, RF a tick. So that is really, we can power a lot in our base with that. And now we are, watch this, 80%. Bam, no. Oh, there we go. It took a second. You see, it got the signal, and the signal came, and on that pulse, it told it to turn off, and that's why it's off. And now you're just going to believe me, when it gets to below 10, it's going to get a signal from there, changes, and the thing turns on. So no, this is like the easiest automation I found. You can, if you don't have RedNet cables like I did in ME4, you just put blocks here with repeaters and redstone dust, you know, go full vanilla, and that is it. I mean, super easy. So, I'm happy we got the reactor, and we got power. So now, what is the next thing we want to do? I'm actually going to have to check. I'm guessing that I'm already over time, so I'm going to check real quick, and I'll be right back. And I'm back. And I made a big boo-boo, guys. I am quite mad at myself. It's actually the next day today because it took me a long time to fix this mistake I made building the reactor. And you guys can probably notice it right here. I moved it up. It was only at one spot away from back there. So I had to move it this way and also some this way because when you check the chunk boundaries, this reactor was 4 blocks deep into this chunk, and whenever you build a multi-block structure in Minecraft, you always want to make sure that it's in the same chunk. It has something to do with, you know, chunks unloading and loading, so this reactor could not be built pretty much. You know, it sees it maybe as the actual blocks, and then a second after it actually forms, and so on. And that could cause that these ports right here maybe fire, even though the reactor is full, or they don't fire and the reactor is empty, and so on. So anyways, I took the whole thing down last night again and placed it, moved it over here. I was really thinking it through this time, so I only need to build it one more time. And I wanted to show you guys a little trick for when you, let me take out these right here, for when you need to take down a reactor, right? Right now, all the rods, whoops, the controller's over here now. I moved this over here. So when I come out of the elevator or the tubes, I can see this, if it's running or not, next to a capacitor bank. I'll get to that in a second. So you see there is 60 buckets of fuel in here. Well, you want to get this back before you take it apart, right? And the way you can do that is right here, you click on eject fuel. And now I got 59 yellorium ingots because I have some of it used already. Check it out. See, there's still very little bit in here. Fuel 540, so that's a little bit over half an ingot. So that one you lose, but hey, who cares? Just half an ingot, right? So, and then when you're done, you can put it back in here, and it takes all 59, and then I fill it up again. So it's just a little trick in case you ever need to move your reactor, so you don't lose the fuel on the rods. And of course, I needed to take out the resonant ender and move everything over here, but it's working again. And I had to rearrange some stuff in here, and I actually like it better now. These tubes right here used to be pointing this way, so now when you actually go up or down, you don't need to turn around. You come the way you are entering, so that makes it a little nicer, I think, instead of having to turn around. And bam, there we are. And then also the portal here, now when I come from spawn and I walk in the portal, I actually walk out this way, which I think is much better. This elevator here is, of course, not centered anymore, but I can live with that. I don't think that's a big problem. So that's the thing I did. And then I also wanted to have a capacitor bank. Simply for the fact, because the energetic infuser is just so slow in charging, and you can use a capacitor bank to charge. I like that it shows you this here, your armor, so I can just directly shift click it in here and shift click it back. So that's cool. And we got some extra storage. And in case you have never made one, it's just a couple of, you know, different steps in crafting. There's this small one with 1 million RF, which you always need to think about it this way. Divided by 10 is how much input output it has, okay? So this one right here has 10 million RF storage, so that's why you get 10,000 max input and output. And of course, the more higher that number is, the faster stuff like this will charge, because 4 million RF takes quite some time in the energetic infuser, like at least 10-15 minutes to charge. It takes forever. In here, whoop, quite fast. So that's the thing I did. And I turned this around, moved the portal and the elevator. But that is all the time we got for today. I also moved the QED over here. It was getting on my nerves, so I just put it here for now. I think I'm going to make a few more Magnum torches for spawn, and just to have a few in reserves. But I really got to go mining because I need more diamonds. So we got power. Now next episode we can start with ore generation. I want to get into auto-sieving and set up a really nice process, so we don't need to worry about it anymore, including soul sand and another manual sieve. So if I want to sieve smooth stone or dirt and stuff like that, you know, it's all ready to go. And I think down this level right here, I don't know where I'm going to keep it. I think I'm going to keep teleporters and portals over here, because we're going to have more, not just this one. I'm also going to make use of the mechanism teleporter because, well, they're just awesome. And they're always on and stuff like that. And then so I'm probably going to set up the auto-sieving process over here along this wall. I don't want this to be up here because, well, you don't need to see it. Up here I want to have, you know, machines, ME. The controller and stuff is pretty sure it's going to be down here in this area. It's funny because I'm already feeling like I'm gonna run out of room quite fast, but we'll see what I can do. I could always oh, I gotta move this one too, the one going up on the ceiling. I totally forgot about that. Where are we? We are right there. Let me just get up here real quick. I'll fix this in a second. We could always, you know, if I really need more room, put another one of these rooms underneath here. Same size or something. I don't really want to go higher. I kind of like the top here the way it is. Anyways, too much rambling, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode, and if you did, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up because it helps the channel out a lot. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and subscribe so you stay up to date with my newest videos whenever they come out. And I'll catch you guys in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and bye-bye.